So I'm gonna let Shelly tune out for a second. I'll say this. You might know this already, but I got my sub credential here in Oakland, California. Dusted off the old teaching credential and got myself fingerprinted and all that. Filled out loads of forms. Had an interview for a job. Haven't had that in a while, and that was all very cool. Eli, our CEO, wrote me a letter of recommendation for this substitute teaching job. It was quite elaborate, and I was happy once again that we do not just let anyone in off the street to work with, to teach these impressionable, precious kids of ours. And so I subbed for the first time this last week. It was pretty exciting. I subbed for one of my favorite local math teachers, Wendy Beatty, here in Oakland. And just a few quick comments while you folks are right now tossing activity links into the chat that I wanted to share with you folks about how that went, since you folks have been doing that for a long time, many of you. At one, I kind of tanked in lots of ways. The biggest one was I was like, I always want to over-plan, as many of you do as well. So I was like, hey, so in the sub plans, if I finish early, what should I do? Like do homework, practice, different activity. And I just got kind of laughed at. It was as though I was, asking like what happens if like gravity reverses. And true to form, like I had this whole activity planned and I got through like less than half of it. Rather that than like under teaching would be nice, would be worse rather. But yeah, that was a big tank. It's hard in distance teaching to know if you're tanking. Just like right now, I can't like read the room right now. I'm staring at a very small, like plastic camera, and don't know on the Zoom stream with these kids, like if I'm, if they're hearing this or whatever, like if they're tuned out on a different tab. That was a little disorienting, not gonna lie. Wendy Beatty had amazing classroom norms. It's so fun to step in as a substitute teacher when she's got norms set up where I'm like, okay, so what's the security here? Like, how do we prevent, X, Y, and Z students, Zoom bombing or, grabbing the stream or whatever. And she's like, no, we have everyone can share a screen, chat's open, cameras are optional, like all this. It was so wild, but she just has such trust with her students that she could do that. So we did some Desmos activity, taco truck, and at one point I sent them off into breakout groups, predefined. I learned that there's like some really serious chemistry issues, like really serious norms around who goes with whom, and if you mess it up, like some kids decided to bail. If in my case, like people like were not paired up correctly, like a couple kids were like, that's not going to happen for me. That was interesting. Last comment, as far as engagement goes, as far as like keeping kids engaged, like the number one question I feel like people have, like I've got only one move. Like I am a pony with one trick. And that is, as always, to invite as much student thinking as I can, and to tell students explicitly, verbally, that I love their thinking, and then to help them develop it basically. But like at various times they'd be working and I'm on my device here looking at the dashboard and I'm just saying out loud so they hear me, oh wow, this is so interesting, I can't wait to share this with you. And it's sincere, but for me, that's what I do to help students feel engaged. Not like, I don't do like math raps or whatever. That's what I got. And that move right there, to make it sincere and productive, it has required everything from me. Like that is the thing, the hardest thing I do professionally, because it requires curriculum that allows loads of students to add their thoughts with a low barrier to entry. It requires math knowledge, so I know what it is I'm looking at, how they connect to each other. Oh, these two students see the same math idea from different angles. Requires technological prowess to like click those snapshot buttons, add those collections, present, control multiple monitors, you know what I'm talking about. And it requires like beliefs about students and myself as a co-learner, belief that students are brilliant, all that. Anyway, that one move, very easy to say in a sentence, and the hardest thing I ever do when I teach. It's a fantastic experience subbing. I'm grateful to Wendy Beatty for letting me do that. Is this true for you folks? No one wants a sub. It's like people, as if the year wasn't hard enough. You folks are like, I can't trust anyone else to do this. Maybe like people at my school on their, prep period or off period, like fine, but I'm having a hard time getting folks to say like, yeah, I'll step away from work. Someone was like, yeah, I haven't had a sub period all day. Maybe I will since you're offering. But that was interesting to me, as if this year wasn't hard enough. Anyway, shout out to teachers, respect your work immensely and even more now after that.